You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 210. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart, president of the Lex Luthor Appreciation Society. I love Lex.
Oh, good.
And you'll like this if you like Lex, too.
Okay. Let me finish the intro, please.
No.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by The Outhousers. You can find our show, plus many articles about things, nerd things, at theouthousers.com. And if you enjoy our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. So, as Jeff was saying, we're going to have to be talking a whole lot about Lex Luthor today, because we're going to be talking about 80-page Giant number 11, which is from June of 1965, and it is an all Luthor-themed issue, so it's Superman and Luthor, all the stories.
Yep. I've read about 3 of these before.
Yeah,
and
I've read a couple of them before. It's just loads of fun. It's Silver Age Superman it's pretty hard for me to top.
It's my golden age of comics for me.
Oh yeah, I'm happy reading anything just about from the Silver Age.
Mm-hmm.
I think for DC, the Weisinger edited, the Superman titles are the best, and over at Marvel, it's Fantastic Four. I think those are like the jewels of the Silver Age.
Mm-hmm. I think they're
of a golden period in comics. So
they have a wonderful goofiness to them and sweetness, but sometimes very imaginative. I like the way they're drawn, and I just like them.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, indeed.
So let's talk about the lead story. It's called The Kryptonite Man, and it's a reprint from Action Comics number 249, which is from February of 1959. It was written by Otto Binder, with art by Al Plastino.
At this time, I can hardly tell there's a difference between the drawings. They're very, very similar.
Yeah, and I think sometimes Al Plastino is kind of a bit like Wayne Boring, who was the main Superman artist of the 50s, and then like Kurt Swan kind of overtook him. We'll see some Kurt Swan in this issue as well, but Plastino's good. He was actually the last living Superman artist who worked on the character in the Golden Age.
Huh.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Lex Luthor really hates Superman.
Really?
So he invents this kryptonite serum.
Yeah.
He hates him because he lost his hair. That's the only reason. It just came to me. It says, man, so who do I hate? Who am I supposed to hate? Go back to
Yeah. It's weird that he has eyebrows. You know what I mean? Because if the chemical... Okay, because that story, Luthor lost his hair because Superboy blew out the fumes to a fire or something in Lex's lab and caused him to go bald. Well, how come he didn't lose his eyelashes or his eyebrows or his nose hairs?
Oh, we don't know about that. But the eyebrows are definitely there. And I guess I don't see his eyelash. Yes, I do. It's a comic.
Oh, right.
Well, eyebrows are super important for showing
facial expressions. Yeah.
And it'd be very hard to do that. So
I'm kind of being silly, but
I know, but you're right. Should have. Luthor tested on a monkey, being the nice guy he is. And of course, when you take the serum, you glow green.
Right. So it's interesting. He was able to liquefy kryptonite and use it as a serum. And so, well, it makes the monkey radiate kryptonite radiation. No further tests. He just swallows it.
Yeah. And so the first thing he does is knock down a Superman statue.
With like this flying rocket car he has.
Yeah.
With a battering ram on the end.
Actually, the Germans were going to make battering ram planes. In
really?
World War II.
Wow, okay.
They may actually have done so. And, I don't know.
So Luthor destroys the statue and hoping the Superman will show up, and he does. And Luthor at first is wearing this cloak that hides the green glow. Superman gets close and he takes it off, and then kind of gets Superman. So Superman has to run away, fly away.
Yeah. Um, Lex Luthor, he goes back to the lab. His monkey has escaped, but so Luthor says, "Well, I guess you won't need this antidote." Then. So it's good that he thought of getting antidote for uh, kryptonite serum.
Right.
So I don't know why, but Clark is at the zoo and, and he sees the monkey and he collapses and he's worried about someone seeing him, which is I like these things, and this is a great thing about having an alter identity you're trying to protect. And what he does is he blows somebody's bananas out of their hands into a lead pipe.
So that the monkey will go in the pipe after the banana,
Right.
and then the lead will prevent Superman from being affected by the radiation,
All right.
and he can get away.
Mm-hmm. I love the way they show an elephant, and it really looks cool. It's really well done.
Yeah.
You must like elephants.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes. Superman goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and he gets a key, which is quite different from the classic key.
Yeah, this story, I mean, it's from, still from the 50s. I think they're still playing around with that. And yeah, this key doesn't look like an airplane marker like we would typically see later.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like a big regular key, but old-fashioned looking key.
Mm-hmm. I love these weapons of Luthor: money magnet, vault blaster, atomic death ray.
And then Superman, and then Superman has a bust of Luthor.
I don't know,
but in the Solitude, he's looking at all these weapons he's confiscated from Luthor.
I wonder if that was Luthor's sculpture he had, and
of himself.
And Superman absconded with it, or did he make one for him? So
I don't know. But I mean, like, you'll see, like, in the fortress, it's huge, and he has like statues or dummies of like all the major figures of his life: Batman and Robin, with and without their masks, and all his villains. And I was just like, why are you spending all your time doing this crap?
Because it takes him a minute to do that.
Okay.
And so, hey, he's bored. Oh, I'll do this.
Right.
And there goes an hour, and I've made about 50 statues.
Okay.
It's interesting. But him having a trophy case is more real to being a person than not having it.
Oh,
Most people do have trophies or something, or a little memento.
Is it so like, oh wait, Superman's a real guy, he even has hobbies?
Right.
Okay.
His hobbies is trophies and all that stuff, and science and all that stuff. But actually, I guess that's his only hobby, that and fighting crime, saving the world and all that, and running away from Lois Lane. It's kind of, Does Spider-Man have a hobby? He has a profession of photography. Is that a hobby though? Does he take pictures when he's not working?
I don't know. You just see him like he's just really into science and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen him like
Fantastic Four. Do any of those have?
Well, hobbies? I know Johnny likes working on hot rods.
That's right.
And Ben reads comic books, I think, but not like like a nerd collecting them. He's kind of
Ben is anything but a nerd.
No, he's really not. But I mean, like, you'll see him reading comics. Like, I don't know.
I mean, occasionally they'll like the Beatles back then.
Sure. Yeah, this is an interesting topic to get into because I've never. Yeah. See, we could do this show for years, and we're always finding little nuggets of things to dig out. Like, I wonder if
You did mention that, and they're the only ones who have Batman and Superman, the only ones who have trophies and all this stuff.
Oh, and I think it's just DC in general. They do a lot of the trophy stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't see it at all in Marvel.
Right. And I think Superman and Batman go way overboard, but it's more true. People would have something. They would collect some things. I mean, not everybody. I can see Wolverine. Throw it away. But some of them's got to collect something.
Sure. It's just it's an odd thing. It's just one of the wacky things about it. It's like, it's an oddly real life trait for this fantasy genre that you don't see at, say, the company that seems a bit more realistic in the way they typically portray characters. Marvel.
It wouldn't be would not be realistic for them to have this. But
Right. I mean, if Spider-Man had a Fortress of Solitude with all this crap, that'd be really strange.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I guess he couldn't keep anything because Aunt May might find it.
Yeah.
So,
Now I've seen stories where Captain America in his quarters at Shield or whatever has a lot of mementos, and then they dramatically had a recent storyline where he destroyed all that stuff because, I don't know.
Yeah.
But those were like from the war and and everything. So, but yeah.
All right.
So what's Lex Luthor? Yeah.
He makes a big statue of him, Luthor, conqueror of Superman.
Oh, Luthor makes a statue of himself. And he puts it right where the Superman statue is destroyed.
That is hilarious.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do too. It's all right. Luthor makes a satellite and puts it in the air and
it's
outside
coated with kryptonite. And the satellite sends a signal that destroys all lead,
right,
or turns
and
all lead to glass.
Dressed in lead, and it turns into glass. And we have these little signals or what are these people? Hey, I'm fishing, and my lead weight turned into glass. My bullets turn into glass. I can see through them.
Yeah.
And someone in school, this lead is turned into glass.
Yeah, so Luthor turns all the lead into glass because this is Superman's one protection from kryptonite.
Yeah.
And Superman can't go and destroy the satellite because it's coated with kryptonite. Mm-hmm. Well, what's he going to do?
He's going to go outside of outer space. Further
out of the range of the satellite.
And to the moon and make
and uses his heat vision to smelt together like another lead suit. And so he gets close enough. He's able to get close enough to the satellite quickly enough to just boot it away from the Earth. And so the lead to glass effect is nullified.
Yeah, we have a cutaway of his new suit. His old suit he couldn't see through.
He was just navigating by hearing.
Yeah, like Daredevil.
Yeah.
Which I just saw the last episode of last season, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Wilson Fisk.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
he had pathos.
Yes.
I mean,
he's a bad guy. Don't get me wrong.
Super evil.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote for him for president. But maybe.
Yeah.
No one would mess with us. I don't think. But,
there were layers to that character. That's why it was such a good performance and role. But
he had the best minions. His minions were great.
His henchmen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
His second in command was good.
Yeah.
Got killed by the name escapes me. The girl.
The Karen Page.
Karen Page, and the cynical business guy who I really like.
Leland Owsley, who's the owl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. He was great.
Yeah.
I was sorry to see them die because I liked them both.
Yeah, no, it was a really good show. A lot of great characters, a lot of good drama. I can't wait for season 2.
Yep, me neither.
So, but yeah, Superman's new lead suit has got a TV antenna and a screen so that he can see, what's going on. Because it totally has to be encased in lead, and he can't see through lead.
All right. And I guess that's really neat.
Yeah.
So, Luthor shoots him with a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Like a bazooka or something.
Yeah.
And destroys the lead suit.
And, okay, so the suit is gone. So Lex Luthor, aha, got you now. And
you're going to die from the kryptonite rays.
But he's standing up straight, and he's moving towards him. And Luthor says, oh, it doesn't work, this kryptonite serum. So
I need to bail, and oh no, anyone in the world could see me because I'm glowing green. So he takes the antidote, so the effects are nullified. Then Superman captures him and tells him that he really was being affected by the kryptonite, but Jimmy Olsen was like holding him up with wires from like the floating newsroom, the flying newsroom.
It was like using marionette.
Yeah, which is pretty clever.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Luthor didn't hear the helicopter.
Right?
And this is
he couldn't hear it over the sound of his own, inner monologue of villainy.
Yeah, and it looks like a CH-46, I think. The flying banana, they called it.
Oh, the big helicopter, yeah.
Yeah, and they're super loud. They're famous for being loud.
Yeah. But maybe he was so busy like gloating, thinking he was going to just kill Superman, that maybe he didn't notice.
Yeah.
Plus, helicopters fly over places. It doesn't necessarily signify that someone's after you.
Yeah. Oh man, I just noticed Jimmy is on top of the helicopter where the blades are at.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't stand up too quick there, Jimmy.
yeah. That's a place I would not want to be.
No.
Nope.
No.
He's Mr. Action.
Yeah, oh god. So yeah,
We have
like a filler page.
a filler page of a cover that was not used.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't know what they use instead of this. They talk about it, but they don't show it.
Well, they do mention the issue number, so you
Right.
could look it up. What issue is it?
Oh,
Superman number...
175.
Yeah, so this is the alternate cover that didn't get used.
That's not bad.
I'm sure you can Google image and
Yeah.
find both
His
these.
legs look short, though. But,
Oh, well.
well. All right.
So we have a Superboy story as a backup.
Yeah, and
The Adventures of
this may be my
Superman when he
favorite
was a
super-
boy.
Yeah. Okay. This is I think, my favorite super story.
Ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've said that before about other stories. But this is
I was
called...
lying then. I'm telling the truth now.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is called The Impossible Mission, and it's a reprint from Superboy number 85 from December of 1960. And it was written by Jerry Siegel with art by George Papp.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's Superboy up to?
Superboy,
He's in Smallville.
yeah, he's Smallville, listening to a speech about Abraham Lincoln and says, hey, I'm going to go back in time and save Lincoln from being assassinated.
Yeah.
So he goes back in time and he sees an old note saying Mr. L is in room 309, goes in there.
So he thinks he's going to warn President Lincoln,
Yeah,
but
but
Mr.
it's-
L isn't Lincoln, it's Lex Luthor, who had fled the future to the past to hide from Superman.
And he's wearing a 1950s outfit. That's
Right.
of course, Superboy is in his Superboy outfit.
Right.
But so Luthor was ready for him with red kryptonite, but I was really shocked that it's Superboy.
Right. He's thinking, like, was Superman too busy and sent a message to himself in the past to go and find me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pure coincidence.
Yeah.
But it's cool because Superboy recognizes, like, oh, it's Luthor, but as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's having adventures, of course, fighting him, since their boyhood, which is interesting.
Yeah. So we see Lincoln going to the theater, and Luthor, when getting to the time where the assassination.
Well, first of all, the red kryptonite paralyzes Superboy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Yes.
He cannot act.
And Luthor just monologuing as the time gets closer and closer.
Yeah.
And he strikes a match on Superboy's nose, which really ticks off Superboy.
Yeah. But he can't do anything.
Yeah. And he blows smoke in his face. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, Abraham Lincoln is shot,
Yeah.
and Luthor hears some commotion and says, "What's going on?" So, oh, Abraham Lincoln, it got shot, and Luthor is appalled that he prevented
Superboy from...
prevented the prevention of the assassination.
Yeah. And he realizes that Superboy wasn't there for him to come get him at all. And yeah, Luthor is affected by this.
Yeah, and he
Emotionally.
says, I had nothing against Lincoln. I may be evil, but I had no hate for him. And I don't know.
I like stories that show Luthor's humanity.
Right.
This isn't the only one in this issue that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. Yeah, he's a bad guy, but he has dimension to him. He's multifaceted,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that.
Yeah. Although evil people don't think they're evil, I don't think.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, like, Luthor is such a different guy, you know? I mean, he knows what he does is self-serving and therefore evil.
Yeah.
What he does is not for the common good. It's for his own personal gain. He's this great super genius scientist,
Mm-hmm.
but he looks out essentially or almost exclusively for himself,
Yeah.
and he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. But it's really cool that he's upset about it. That's
Yeah.
why I like Luthor.
So he takes his time machine and he goes back to the future, and then Superboy, when the effects of red kryptonite wear off, he goes through the time barrier again and goes back to
And
Smallville.
he just figures it's not to be. I'm not supposed to change history,
Yeah.
so I won't do that again. you know, I'm trying to think of other villains. Red Skull would just laugh, I think, but I'm trying to think. Doctor Doom,
Here's the
maybe.
thing: Doctor Doom isn't an American. He wouldn't have an emotional
Uh,
anything
Although
connection at all with Abraham Lincoln.
not as much, but I think he might admire him, or maybe not.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of another villain who would. Joker would laugh, of course, but at
yeah,
the
like a villain
irony.
who would also feel remorseful at this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Doom is a maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
Magneto, yeah.
sure,
Hmm.
sure.
But
Again, another not American, so he might not actually care.
I think he would.
But at the same time, he might know the historical significance of, like, Lincoln,
Mm.
liberator of an enslaved people, and
Yeah.
there's some connectivity with him and his plight as a mutant. So maybe. I
Yeah.
was also thinking before we talk about this. Actually, this is fitting to talk about this next story. It's a supervillain team up
Hmm.
story. I'll get into that in a sec. I was thinking about, like, Spencer and I are talking about supervillain team up the
Hmm.
series with Submariner and Doom.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, we're realizing, like, this is, like, one of the great supervillain duos, like, that team up, like, on a
Hmm.
regular, they have a relationship over that crosses all this time. And the only uh, other pair of villains I could think that really come close to that coolness is the Luthor and Brainiac stories.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, the back and forth, the friendship, um,
Right.
and being frenemies, the distrust, but also the respect, and that they keep coming back to each other.
I like the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, but I
Yeah,
don't think any of them fit together well like that. I'm
yeah.
trying to
I mean,
think.
the closest is there is a connection between Craven and the Chameleon because they are relatives. They're like half brothers or
Oh,
something,
yeah. But they
or
neither
stepbrothers or something.
they're okay. They're not my favorites
But
or
neither
anything.
one of them are like A-list villains.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, Luthor and Brainiac and Namor and Doctor Doom are these amazing duos,
Yeah.
um, with the great dynamic with each other.
Hmm. Yeah. That's cool. I love that. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And there's no fisticuffs or anything like that. It's just except
Between
for
them?
the one we just read.
Oh, right, right, yeah. It's all problem solving.
Problem solving and monologuing and bitter irony.
Yeah. What a
Yes.
great story.
Yeah, it was.
So, this story is called The Terrible Trio, which is a reprint from Superman number 88 from March of 1954. It was written by William Woolfolk, penciled by Wayne Boring, and inked by Stan Kay. And now this is a Luthor teaming up with the Toyman and the Prankster. Two villains I despise. And not because, oh, they're so dastardly, but they're so lame. You
Yeah.
know, Toyman can be okay coming up with, like, his deadly toys, but the Prankster just sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, look, you can have one goofball villain, and
Right.
that's Mixius And these
Yeah.
two just have, you know, they are share elements with him that then render themselves irrelevant and unnecessary.
Yeah. And they're about the same thing. So yeah. So just they're so very similar. They're trying to be Batman type thing villains, and
But I
they're
mean,
not
but
good.
but you know what I'm seeing? The goofball villains for Superman.
Right.
Mixius Toyman, and Prankster all kind of have some shades of one another. Okay,
Yeah.
Mixius is his magic imp. Okay, but he loves playing pranks. Okay,
Yeah.
Prankster, and he does all this, you know, convoluted, wacky stuff. You know, like making carnival, clowns or whatever, signs turn into things to fight.
Mhm.
Well, okay, what? There's nothing about Toyman or Prankster that's as good or better or
Mhm.
uniquely interesting that sets him apart from Mixius.
Yeah.
Especially the Prankster. Toyman you can kind of argue for.
Yeah. All right. The pranks are just ugly.
Yeah, no, he's super weird looking.
Yeah, it's very golden agey looking, which
You need to explain what you mean by that, because you just use that as a blanket term for things you don't like sometimes.
yeah, I do. And it's very crude looking. It's the drawing style. It's just very. very exaggerated features, and it looks like something done in the golden age. Like,
Okay. Well,
like
technically, this is 1954. Technically, it still is. It's
okay,
pre-code. Uh,
yeah,
but it's
uh,
late Golden Age. Mort Weisinger is editing the
mhm,
books, and it has the feel of that. But I
yeah,
just not all Golden Age artists are crude and crummy looking. Many
no,
are. Many are wonderful.
right,
So I don't like.
yeah, I shouldn't use
I'm
that word.
against that as a blanket
Okay,
term. So
yeah, but it just looks crude,
yeah.
and it's goofy and not very. I don't know. I like my villains to be a little bit cool or something. Although Mixo's Pillock is wonderful
So are you saying this lacks sophistication in the
or
art?
something.
I
It's
do
just
really like Wayne Boring. He and Kurt Swan are my two favorite
even
Superman artists.
Noble Homer nodded once in a while. So
Yeah.
um, just don't like. No,
Okay. So anyway, Luthor, Prankster, and Toyman are all out of jail, but kind of like hiding out, sort of. They're kind of barely,
yeah.
especially Luthor. They're kind of hiding in plain sight. They happen to run into each other at a carnival
Hmm.
and get the
Literally
yeah, no, literally.
on a
And
slide. What is Luthor doing on a slide?
I
I
think
mean,
it's one of those like drop through a thing. I
yeah.
don't know, but anyway, they run into each other and recognize each other, and Luthor gets a bright idea. I think it's Luthor bright idea
Hmm.
of like, hey fellas, why don't we pool our efforts and battle Superman?
Yeah.
Which also Luthor,
He's
I,
slumming.
he really is. I mean, I can't for a minute believe Luthor would take either of these two seriously. You know, he
Yeah.
creates death rays, and they have squirt guns and toy and robot dolls.
Yeah, he's got the old wallet trick where it's got a string on the wallet.
Oh, the prankster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they work on, like a series of schemes together. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I really don't even understand it. So by pulling, by knocking off Luthor's hat,
Yeah.
it releases gas.
What is it?
Uh,
Is Clark Kent is going by something.
yeah, and he sees the wallet, and the cop warns him about it. And yeah, I don't know what the plan is. Oh, by pulling the wallet, the string, you blow up the safe or something.
Yeah.
So
But I don't
I don't.
understand. Was that a distraction ploy? I don't.
Yeah, well, they were stealing, of all things, this. Uh, I don't know. It's kind of it's a model of a bridge made out of diamonds.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, and he's got to protect the bridge because it's precious. Because not only is it made of diamonds, it's it's a work of art.
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Toyman opens up a bag or his belt or something and lets out these robot dolls of Superman, and they are grenades.
Yeah.
And he can't blow them up in front of anybody, so he swallows one of them and it explodes in
I
his mouth.
do love this picture of him swallowing them and his cheeks are blowing up.
Yeah,
That is so awesome.
yeah,
It looks very Mad Magazine.
sure.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you one thing. They have the coolest car.
They have a flying rocket car.
Man, it is awesome. That
It's
is.
got like the helicopters like from MASH with the plastic dome on it.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, just the dome part.
Hmm.
But yeah, other than that, I don't know, it's like a Studebaker or something.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
flies.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand it, but I like it. Okay. So the toy maker,
Toyman.
toy man, excuse me. Uh, I wish I could forget him. He gets in Jack in boxes, and they go up to the second floor of the building.
I do
and-
like the Jack in the Boxes lifting all three of these villains up to the
Yeah,
second floor
actually,
of the
that's not
building.
a bad idea.
Third floor, I think, actually.
Hmm.
And so, what are they stealing?
They're stealing a safe. Superman comes in, and who was trying to make it's oh the
Toyman.
toy man is burning the safe up, and he catches the floor on fire, and the safe falls down. So Superman's got to go save the person underneath the floor, and he's
Right.
gonna get crushed. And they make their getaway. So
So now Luthor's plan comes into effect. Both the
yeah,
other two goofballs have
yeah,
tried their stuff, and it's
yeah. So he puts these landmines that float above the capitals of the world.
yeah, and like ransoms them for like $1 billion from every
Hmm.
country is what he says. So that's a Luthor level plan.
Right.
These others are like, well, let's steal a safe, like
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Actually, I just thought you're right.
he is on a. This is demonstrating perfectly that he is on just a higher plane of significance
Hmm.
than these two guys.
Yeah. So one of these balls that is floating,
They're flying mines.
yeah, it has kryptonite in it, and Superman gets on top of it, and he gets worn out. So he uses heat vision and blows it up because there's a explosive charge in him.
Okay.
So he escapes the kryptonite that way, comes back, captures them all
Does he explode it? Like,
with his heat ray.
no, I mean, but where? Like,
It
is it?
floats up into the.
Oh, so no one will be hurt. Okay.
Well, that's right. Lex Luthor was going to let it float out in outer space, and that'll be the end of Superman. Which
Oh, I
is kind
see.
of cool. So Lex Luthor was lording it over his two
Compatriots.
yeah, and they're sad. And Superman comes in and arrests them, and they're now happy because Lex Luthor was proven wrong too. So
Yeah, even though they're going back to jail, where the worst place in the world.
yeah, but I we have a not a bad. It wasn't bad. It was fun.
Yeah. There's a pin-up, and it's kind of like showing the Superman family of characters, or many of them anyway.
Yeah, I showed this to my wife last night. It says, "I know all these people. Save me."
Yeah, and it shows like the Legion and uh,
uh, and
Lois
Jimmy and Mom Pa Kent and
and
Super Monkey and
and
Super
Jor-El
Dog
and
and
Laura, Laurie Lomaris, Bizarro, Professor Potter. Yeah, just all these wackadoo characters, and it's such a wonderful cast that Superman has.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, it is. That's what. Yeah, no one has anything close to it.
well, I think Spider-Man and the Daily Bugle people, but that's not even close to the ensemble
Mm-hmm.
that are so tied into Superman's mythology that are
Mm-hmm.
there to play with.
Yeah.
Um,
And Betty Brant left, and oh well, I like Betty Brant, but
well, yeah, and everyone in Spider-Man's supporting cast is okay. There's a bunch of regular people who work at the Daily Bugle,
mm-hmm.
like his girlfriend and his aunt, and his mean boss.
Yeah.
That's-
Although, um, J.J. Jameson is almost a supervillain of all the trouble he causes.
Oh man,
Actually, has been a supervillain, and he gets those super robots, which are cool.
the Spider Slayers, and also let's not forget that he funded and was the impetus for the creation of the Scorpion.
Hmm. Interesting. I did not know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
That's okay.
I'm kind of stupid, remember?
Oh yeah.
All
How
right.
could I forget?
Yeah.
So our next story is called "The Conquest of Superman."
You know, when I was reading these, I'll let you get back with the thing, but I was enjoying them so much, I didn't realize they're all Lex Luthors. I didn't until you told me today. So, oh yeah, they are. I just enjoyed them all. It was
Yeah.
loads of fun reading them. So
Yeah.
I didn't even see how stupid I am. So all right. So who wrote this?
The Conquest of Superman is from Action Comics number 277 from June of 1961, and it was written by Bill Finger, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by John Fort.
Yeah, this is awesome. Luthor's in jail, and all the
What?
other yeah, and all the other hoodlums are laughing at him. It really ticks him off
Why are they laughing at him?
because Superman keeps putting him back in jail.
Oh, what do they say? They ought to put a revolving door on your cell, Luthor.
Haw haw. Yeah.
That's
So
pretty funny.
all right.
So Superman's off-world,
Yeah.
and the government or somebody comes in like, hey, there's a jet that's going to crash.
Yeah. So who are we gonna call? Lex Luthor. So,
Right.
Well, isn't Green Arrow somewhere around, or is it, who else could handle this?
Green Lantern.
Oh, Green Lantern. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Green Arrow might be enough. I don't know.
I don't know,
With the
with
Flash,
a
maybe.
big net arrow.
Yeah.
Batman is
Yeah,
also.
Batman. Yeah.
I think in the Silver Age they don't quite play up Batman to be a super scientist yet.
Yeah.
You know,
But he does have his super jet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Bat jet. That should work.
But yeah, but anyway, they call on Lex Luthor to help, keep this plane from crashing, and he creates an anti-gravity ray so it'll float to the ground, without
Yeah.
crashing, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. If the plane's landing gear doesn't work, so if it crashes, H-bomb go off, which is not true. They have. It would not be a great thing. It would not go off, but it might break up and get radiation, but it's not going to explode. Or at least it's not supposed to.
All right.
We have dropped an atomic bomb. I think an atomic bomb was dropped on North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
it wasn't.
It didn't detonate.
Yeah, it was by accident, of course.
Right.
All right. So Luthor saves the day, and then he
landed on your house, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
No.
So he builds a what is this? Repulsor ray. What does he call this?
Anti-gravity
ray. Yeah.
I think I mentioned that.
Did you? Right.
I totally mentioned that.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, Luthor uses this opportunity to also sneak a getaway.
Right. By lightening up everybody else, and they're floating now. Although couldn't they still shoot them?
Well, they could, but what's to say that their guns wouldn't shoot the bullets like backward or something?
That's true.
Or up, they fire it and it goes straight up in the air instead of at him.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Luthor carjacks Lois Lane.
Yeah, great.
He's like, scoot over, sister, I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he kicks her out of the car.
Right. All right, so Luthor takes over this cool museum.
Yeah.
And it's got the statue of...
Well, it's his hidden hideout.
Yeah, but it's an old museum. They're going to tear it down, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It looks like H.P. Lovecraft designed it.
Yay!
All right, so Luthor has his trophies. Attila the Hun. Well, it's not trophies, but
it's a gallery of his heroes.
Yeah, Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Captain Kidd, and Al Capone. Attila the Hun died on his honeymoon. Al Capone died of syphilis, brain damage. No, Genghis Khan died well. I think 10% of the world is related to him.
Something weird like that, yeah.
And Captain Kidd, I don't know what happened to Captain Kidd. Was he hanged or?
Probably he was a pirate.
He died in bed. Yeah, I don't know. And he does have his trophies.
Luthor has a piece of. It's almost like Brainiac had all the shrunken cities in bottles. He's got a little sunken jungle from another dimension in a bottle.
Yeah, and they're fighting it out.
Like dinosaur-like creatures.
I don't know who this guy is with him. It's just
a henchman.
Somebody to talk to.
Yes.
I guess.
So Luthor has a big thing on the wall showing all the times that he spent in prison, like all these calendar pages, like in prison because of Superman.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while there'll be like a month where he's free.
Oh, I just got that, yeah. All right. Luthor goes to sleep. He has this dream of shrinking down Superman and Perry White and Lois and Jimmy, and he puts Superman in a parrot cage with a parrot.
Yep.
And then he puts him into a rocket and going to ship him off the exact opposite of the way he came here.
Oh, okay.
But he wakes up and says, I got an idea. And so he invents this vehicle.
Yeah.
And he goes to Fort Knox and shrinks down all the soldiers so they can't shoot a tank, which is kind of a good plan.
Yeah, he shrinks all them, and they can't even lift up their rifles. They can't operate the tank. I mean, they could try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Superman comes, and then Luthor has these...
He says, I've got this device that creates all these different kinds of kryptonite, and so these big balloons of kryptonite.
It's synthetic kryptonite.
Right.
And there's a yellow kryptonite, which we don't know what happens.
Right.
And so it's a whole ball around.
Yeah, and they're
Superman
floating, and so all these kryptonites. There's also this blue kryptonite, which doesn't do anything but harm Bizarro.
Yeah.
But all these balls of different kryptonite floating in the air, and Superman is like, oh, I can't do anything. I gotta split.
Yeah.
And so Luthor uses a giant robot arm to pick up Fort Knox and take all the gold.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, ah ha ha, I've triumphed, and so yay.
Yeah. He's got these Arab trucks, which are kind of cool looking. They look like trucks, but they have wings on them.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
he's got all this. So he gets all of
Bullion.
bullion. When was this written?
Keep talking.
Okay.
1961.
Okay. Well, this is before Goldfinger. So.
Okay.
Okay. So Lex puts his statue next to Al Capone because now he can stand with the greats.
Right. And then he finds out that
It's a Superman robot.
because Superman was off world, and so the robot was there. And now the robot is programmed to react any way Superman would, including to kryptonite, even though it wouldn't affect a robot.
Right. And
And so Luthor, in his super pissedness, he says, well, I didn't really defeat Superman. I'll just give all the gold back.
yeah, which is a great facet. So he's not in it for the money.
Yeah, it's for being able to humiliate Superman and just the that he can do it.
Yeah. And that's just something else.
Because nobody's ever robbed Fort Knox,
Yeah.
except in comics.
And the movies.
Yeah.
Only once in the movies. I don't think anyone besides Goldfinger.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else.
I remember one of the best episodes of G.I. Joe was when Cobra attacked and stole, robbed Fort Knox.
Oh, okay. Very end, Superman's thinking, as for Luthor, I'll be waiting for our next battle. And then you see Luthor says, as for Superman, I'll be waiting for our next battle. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So one thing I was thinking about, I was reading somewhere, actually, I think it's in a filler page here, talking about Superman's powers and the vision powers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought it was weird because I read somewhere somebody saying, like, he can't melt lead. And I thought, why? Because heat should be able to just melt anything.
That's one of easily meltable.
And I realized, like, okay, I understand he can't see through lead, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized what it is. Because the X-ray vision cannot see through the lead, right?
Right.
The heat vision is just applying the X-ray to a level so it is, shooting heat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. That vision power cannot affect lead.
What he could do is like put a piece of like steel on the lead and heat the steel, and the steel will melt the lead.
Very true. Very true. Because I
Okay.
forget that, the heat vision evolved from the X-ray vision.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have another Superboy story.
Yay.
Yay, indeed. So it's the Army of Living Kryptonite Men, which is a reprint from Superboy number 86 from January of 1961. Was written by Jerry Siegel with art by George Papp.
Yeah, I love this. One day in Smallville, as Clark, parentheses Superboy, as if anybody wouldn't know.
I think we know because of generationally, like, oh, Superman is a pop culture icon. But maybe Tommy Joe Blow in Kansas picks up this issue of Superboy for the first time and doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's why it's for that.
Okay, I'm sure.
But they'll see it like Batman or Bruce Batman Wayne. Oh,
Yeah.
so you're not like, well, who is this guy? Oh, that's Oh, that's Superman. Okay.
Well, Superboy started making his trophies. He's got a
That's funny how we were talking about it earlier.
Lana Lang Valentine and hairs from Lex Luthor's head before he became bald, which is weird.
Yes, it is. That's a creepy thing to have. Doesn't he also have figurines of several of the Legion of Superheroes?
Maybe, I don't know.
Turn the page.
Yeah. Paul Kent says it's interesting that Lana Lang and Lex Luthor has both such important roles in your life have their initials are LL.
And he's like, there's another one too, Lightning Lad from my pals in the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah,
and he has figurines of Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, and Lightning Lad, the three founding Legionnaires.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I don't know. That's what why would you? Yeah. Maybe he's a geek too, and he just geeks out. I mean,
If I had friends that were superheroes in the future that
Yeah.
were like inspired by my exploits, I would geek out too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Luthor, in his lab, has his cool hat.
And the helmet gives him basically telekinesis over rocks.
Yeah. And a certain kind of rocks too, because he can has over kryptonite rocks.
Yeah.
So he finds a bunch. Man, there must be more kryptonite than any other element in the universe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know how far Krypton, how far away it was. I mean, somebody knows, but I don't. Um, and if a whole planet exploded and you have meteorites, shooting through the universe, you could say big chunks of a planet eventually make their way to Earth.
Yeah,
Sure,
right.
and it's a comic book.
Okay.
You know?
All right. So Luthor, it's just, I think they're in outer space,
Yes.
and Luthor he makes a fist of stone.
Yeah, and it looks really cool.
Yeah. And he shakes it at Superboy, which is great.
Yeah.
And Superboy's all concerned, and all of a sudden here comes Kryptonite, and the Kryptonite comes, and Luthor makes a army of Kryptonite men,
Yeah.
and they're pounding the crap
Out of Superboy, and he's turning green, so he's getting kryptonite poisoning. And so looks like he's toast. And then Lana Lang slinks in the window of Lex's lab, and she's, I wonder what this switch does.
Yeah.
And just pulls down this lever.
No, she doesn't.
She thinks about it,
Yeah,
and then does.
That was so.
And it's like, oh no, the lights went out. So it
No, she doesn't. The lights went out because the fuse blew at that moment. She never does that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting because she would have saved the day. She'd be the Deus Ex Machina.
Machina.
I always mess that up. Okay, Machina.
So Lex goes to change the fuse, and that gives Superboy enough time to do something. Crypto shows up, by the way.
Yeah. Crypto comes, and then Lex Luthor builds a bigger bigger stone man, and kicks Crypto's butt.
Yeah. So it looks like he's finally going to kill Superboy.
And it looks like he has killed him.
And so he just piled all the rocks on him. He's like, aha, he's dead. So he takes off the helmet. And then Superboy comes crashing in. Oh, and with...
Lightning Lad.
Who showed up from the 30th century to save him.
So we had 3 LLs in this.
Yes.
So as Lightning Lad was saved him from this, a meteor hit the meteor they're on. So Superboy would have been saved regardless. So there's 3 Deus Ex Machinas in this: Lightning Lad, Lana Lang, and the big asteroid.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. So Lightning Lad departs in his time bubble. After Lex is captured or sent back to jail, or no, he doesn't even go to jail. He just says that he smashed his lab, and that's it.
I don't know. Maybe it's not against the law to make kryptonite. So,
I guess not.
What would you?
Attempted murder. But since Superboy
is immortal.
Well, not immortal, but he doesn't have legal status as Superboy. It's as Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have to reveal his secret identity to prosecute Luthor for attempted murder. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Luthor escapes another day to plot, because he can't do anything.
Although if I was Superboy, pow, Luthor is 6 feet under.
Yeah.
I would have killed him a long time ago. I would have killed him when he got mad about being bald. Dude, I saved your life. Pow.
Yeah.
Well, did you see this cool ad for monogram models by Mouse?
Yeah.
And I've never seen these when I was a kid, and they're cool.
See, the artist looks like that guy, Ed, whatever, who created Ratfink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're fun.
Yeah.
Really big mouths, and they look cool, and
big tongues and sharp teeth, and drooly mouths and stuff.
Fred Fly Pogger and Speed Shift and Super Fuzz. It's really fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. to our next one.
Yes, this next story is called Superman in Superman Land. It's a reprint from Action Comics number 210. Hey, and this is our episode 210.
Wow,
Yeah, that's fun.
what a coincidence.
Yeah, just a thing. Anyway, it's from November of 1955. Was written by Bill Finger, penciled by Wayne Boring, and inked by Stan Kay.
Yeah. I've never seen Superman Land before. I wonder if it's.
I think it's a one-off.
Too bad. What a great idea.
It is a fun story.
You can have Disney World. I want to go to Superman Land. And Superman will come and he'll sign some fake kryptonite for you with his finger or his heat vision or whatever.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this, including those things you just mentioned.
Okay, so these kids are going to Superman Land, and it's huge. It looks like a city.
And you realize, like, Disneyland opened in 1954 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing.
So, yeah, DC Comics showed Disney how it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
So the people get to ride a rocket. I mean, wasn't there a Cascades Park or something like that always had Superman in their ads?
Oh, Palisades Park.
Palisades, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. They did.
I wonder if they had any Superman stuff there, or just...
I don't know. I never went to Palisades Park. I remember the song.
Yeah. All right, but the kids can ride in rockets, go to Krypton, go past the Sargasso Sea of Space, which looks really cool. What else we got? We have people. They have these fake weights of 2 tons, so you can lift them up, look like Superman.
Yeah.
You can have fake newspapers. Joey Smith meets Superman.
Sure.
And something pretty nice, huh, Mister? I wish I could really talk to Superman.
And it's Clark Kent.
And saying, you don't know it, Joey, but you are.
That's he's thinking in the thought bubble, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So you can have a headless body of Superman. So
It's a cutout, so you can stand up and put your face in there.
So if everybody wants Clark to get in there, but Clark won't take off his glasses or hat.
Yeah.
He's kind of cold.
Because they'd realize, hey, that totally looks like Superman.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Lois always trying to get in. So there's a shooting range where people are supposed to shoot like a steel statue of Superman.
Which is a bad idea. And also a bad idea to shoot at Superman with guns because they'll bounce off.
Right? But anyway, the statue wasn't delivered in time, so Superman, the real Superman, decides to stand in so the kids won't be disappointed and put in harm's way.
Yeah. That's great. Although I would love to do this.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah. Okay. There's a creepy guy with a box walking around. I wonder who he could be.
Yeah. Right?
All right. They're showing the cartoons of Superman.
Yeah.
It's about the second or third time I've seen them mentioned. They are wonderful, the cartoons.
They are wonderful to this day. Just a fantastic animation.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in the public domain, which is awesome.
Yeah. So there's a Superman merry-go-round where you can ride Superman. So they want, let's see.
You can like get on the back of Superman, and it's weird. It's a carousel.
Right.
But Lois is like, I've ridden with Superman a bunch of times. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. What is he trying to? Oh, there's a problem. There's all these kids want their mail sent from Superman Land, so it'll be stamped Superman Land, which is not a thing anymore.
Sending mail or giving a crap about that?
Oh, crap about the post office stamp because you can get. It used to be you can collect stuff from Antarctica.
Sure.
And it was a thing, and it's kind of nice, but it's not done anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the biggest things about this show is that it's a history show, and making note of things that are no longer things, but were big deals.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we want to hone in on. So.
Yeah. So. Superman goes and stamps everything, all these tons of letters.
Yeah, because they're just clogged at the letters often, so he does it at super speed, of course.
And he distributes it in the little boxes on. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Superman put a dummy of Clark
Yeah.
on the Superman ride, and went off and did all the post office work, and came back and and told, "Hey, wasn't that fun, Lois? Well, you look like you're made out of like a wax dummy on top of it."
Because it was a wax dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fun? Because he
Yeah.
pulled a switcheroo so he could do that.
Yeah.
So this guy, this mysterious, he's kids have plastic pieces of plastic that are green, like, oh, fake kryptonite, and Superman's signing it off for them with this
Mhm.
heat vision. So this goofball with the hat and beard, oh, you signed my lunchbox or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He opens it up and it's got kryptonite inside, and
Yeah.
it's Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
Duh, this whole issue was Luthor themed. So to me, it's like the story where a dramatic reveal is, oh, it was Luthor, is kind of
Yeah,
ruined.
but it wasn't. It wasn't written for this magazine.
Right, but somebody, an editor, chose to include this particular
Yeah.
story,
Mhm.
and to me that is like, okay, maybe not this one. This probably isn't the
Okay.
right one for
I
this
agree.
themed issue.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Yeah, still, we get to go to Superman, and who cares?
okay.
Right?
So there's another exhibit that's going to demonstrate, oh, the explosion of Krypton.
Yeah.
Well, and Luthor's got it set up. He's subdued Superman with kryptonite, and he's got it so he'll actually explode when this globe explodes because they're going to have dynamite in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's
And I think the idea is if Superman's weakened by the kryptonite, then
he's vulnerable.
yeah,
So the way he knew that when he saw, I guess he should have known it was Lex Luthor because
Yeah.
you could see through the beard. And then when he saw us coming up, he quickly got a vial of that nitric acid.
where'd he get the nitric acid again from?
They were etching the kryptonite.
Right. So he uses that to melt the handcuffs, and so he kicks the kryptonite away, and so his strength comes back enough where he can, stop the explosion, and then tie up Luthor with a piece of like a steel rod around his wrists, which is
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, poor Luthor.
great.
All right, and let's see. What do
What
we
are you
have
looking at this
here?
house ad here?
Yeah, Batman, the captive planet,
Yeah, it's another 80-page giant.
and the winged bat people.
Yeah, so the theme is Batman and bizarre adventures in time and space. So
And the caveman bat.
yeah,
And the interplanetary Batman.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, those look like fun.
Yep. So the last story in this issue is it's called "The Curse of Lena Thorol," and it's a reprint from Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane, number 23, February of 1961, written by Jerry Siegel and with art by Kurt Schaffenberger.
Okay. Well, I guess Perry White sends Lois Lane to write a story in witchcraft. Yeah. Yeah. When you think of witches, you think Lois Lane.
I do.
Yeah. Now she was turned into a witch one time.
Yeah, we read that story.
Yeah. So she goes to the little place. I guess it's supposed to be Salem, Massachusetts. But
Sure.
It's another name. And she goes to the library, a really pretty librarian. They only have one book on that, and it's really old. It's only one in existence. So,
On the witchcraft,
Yeah.
or the occult, or whatever.
and she sees Luella Thompson, who looks a lot like the librarian.
Weird. And she reads about Luella Thompson, who was like, she had 3 boyfriends who all died in mysterious, witchy, probably infused
Well,
ways.
although one went down the ship, one died in battle, and the other one was killed by an enraged bull.
Those are all deaths that could have happened, like
Yeah.
especially centuries ago. Life
Right.
was dangerous.
Right.
Life is dangerous now.
And the family died when a bridge was weakened by a storm. So she was burned.
Yeah. But all that could be coincidence.
Yeah. And Lois says, "Oh, don't you look a lot like her?" And
The librarian says,
yeah, I do. Who knew?
yeah, it's Lena Thorol.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so all of a sudden, magical crap starts happening. Her camera disappears. Her typewriter disappears.
Lois's.
Yes.
Okay.
Almost dies in a car wreck. The book disappears. Um, I'm not sure how they actually did that, but we'll tell you why that happened. So Superman is all concerned about it. They look at Lena Thorol, and they figure out it's Lex Luthor. Oh,
Lex Luthor causing all those magical things.
yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel bad about the book. There's only one book in existence, and it disappears.
Yeah, you're a librarian. I understand. It's.
I'm not a librarian. I work at a library.
Oh
You
my
have to
God! You help people find books. You.
Librarians hate when people who are not do not have an MLIS degree call themselves librarians. So
Okay. I'm not a librarian, so don't hate me for calling you one. So fine, you work in a library.
yeah, okay.
So anyway, Luthor was causing all those magical things because he wanted.
Lena Thorol to be left alone by Lois Lane.
Because Leah Thorol doesn't know that she is Luthor's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he was young, and she was very young, his family disowned him and changed their names to get away from the criminal Luthor and the shame.
Mm-hmm.
And so he loved his sister, and he wanted to protect her, and he didn't want her to be treated badly by people because she's a sister of Luthor.
Which is really great. So
I'm like, wow, he has a heart. There is someone in the world that Lex Luthor cares about that's not himself.
Yeah, and he goes out of his way to do this.
And there are stories where he calls on Supergirl to help him to protect Lena.
Yeah, and it's really sweet. It's really nice.
It is. I enjoy these Lena Thorol stories. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I like that Luthor is not a monster.
Right.
He's a person.
Red Skull's good, but Red Skull is Johnny One Note, evil.
Yeah.
I think if his mother was in the way, he'd drive over.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he killed his father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what is it with the mixed up and the scrambled names? Luthor to Thorol.
Look, anagrams. That's another trope.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anagrams are
I
a
was
thing
trying to
that
think of the
DC
name.
likes to do that too.
Yeah. Oh well.
Because so many of the plot devices, like the mystery revealed in the last page, especially of Superman stories, are like, oh, this scrambled up was so and so, and that was who did it all along.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, it's something that a kid can figure out.
Yeah.
Although I totally forgot about this. So
Or you come to the end of the story like, oh, and then you look back through the story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It has replay value.
Right. If you have a mystery like that, and I don't like people cheating. I mean, I don't mind not knowing how. A lot of Batman things, especially in the show, was there'd be a clue and the Riddlers, and it'd be, oh yeah, it would be that's a building on Oak Street. No way would the audience ever know that answer.
Sure.
But
this you could
kind of cool. A kid could do this, and if they read it very carefully, and I just zoomed through this because I was enjoying this so much.
Right.
And it's really, really cool.
Right on.
Yeah. But goodbye, Lex Luthor. Well, hopefully we'll see you again.
Oh, we will.
And
soon.
funny pages.
We're not done with the sign off.
We're not.
No, I was going to
no.
talk about, before you say we'll see you in the funny pages. I was going to wait. I was just going to mention some of the books we're going to talk about next week.
Okay.
We have 2 issues of the next episode that Jeff and I will record together, because I have one with Spencer in between. We're going to talk about 2 issues of first issue special that were written and drawn by Jack Kirby. You might have heard of him. Right. And a couple more Supermans, so that'll be fun. And then the following episode, we'll have some Marvel stuff. We'll have a couple issues of Creatures on the Loose and a pair of issues from the Defenders. One at the early in the series and one near the end of the series. So it'll be very, very odd. But yes, that's the show.
All right. See you in the funny pages.